Lisa had always loved living by the ocean. Her small cottage sat right on the cliff, with huge windows that looked out over the endless blue water. She worked as a scientist, studying tiny glowing creatures in the sea. Most people thought her job was boring, but Lisa found magic in those little lights that danced in the dark water. That Tuesday evening started like any other. Lisa came home tired after spending the whole day collecting water samples from the beach. Her boots were sandy, her clothes smelled like seaweed, and her hair was a mess from the ocean wind. All she wanted was a hot shower and maybe some leftover pizza. She dropped her heavy bag by the door and kicked off her boots. The cottage felt peaceful after the noisy waves outside. Lisa loved this quiet time when she could finally relax. She turned on some music, grabbed a clean towel, and headed to her bathroom. What Lisa didn't know was that something very strange had just happened in her backyard. About 20 minutes earlier, while she was still walking home from the beach, a small silver object had fallen from the sky. It wasn't a meteor or a plane. It was something much more unusual. The object crashed right into her vegetable garden, crushing her favorite tomato plants. Steam rose from the strange metal as it cooled down. After a few minutes, a door opened with a soft hissing sound. Two figures stepped out, looking around nervously. They looked almost like people, but not quite. They were tall and thin, with skin that sparkled like moonlight on water. Their eyes were bigger than human eyes, and they seemed to glow softly in the evening light. These were Zix and Vex, twin brothers from a planet very far away. The twins had been flying through space, checking out different worlds for their government. Earth was just another stop on their long journey. They were supposed to stay high in the sky, take some pictures, and move on. But their ship had broken down, and now they were stuck. "Our communication device is damaged," Zix said to his brother, speaking in their strange musical language. "We need to find someone who can help us." Vex looked around at the unfamiliar plants and breathed the strange air. Everything smelled different here. "Do you think the beings on this planet are friendly?" he asked. "Only one way to find out," Zix replied. "Let's see if anyone lives in that structure." The twins had never seen a house before. On their planet, everyone lived in floating crystal pods. This square building with its flat roof and straight walls looked very odd to them, but they could see warm light coming from inside, which meant someone was home. They walked carefully toward the cottage, trying not to make noise. Their feet made soft clicking sounds on the stone path. They had studied human behavior from space, but being this close to where humans lived felt scary and exciting. The twins stopped outside Lisa's bathroom window. The light was on, and they could hear water running. On their planet, they cleaned themselves with special energy waves, so the sound of water confused them. "What is that noise?" Vex whispered. "Maybe it's some kind of ritual," Zix guessed. They were both very curious about human customs. Their mission was to learn about Earth people and report back to their leaders, so they crept closer to the window, hoping to observe some normal human behavior. The bathroom window was made of cloudy glass, so they couldn't see much, just blurry shapes moving around inside. The twins pressed their faces against the cool glass, trying to get a better look. Meanwhile, Lisa was enjoying her shower. The hot water felt amazing after her long day. She hummed along to the music playing from her phone. She had no idea that two alien visitors were watching her house. She washed her hair with her favorite coconut shampoo and let the warm water rinse away all the salt and sand from the beach. This was her favorite part of the day, when she could forget about work and just relax. Lisa turned off the water and reached for her towel. She stepped out of the shower feeling much better. Her bathroom was steamy and warm. She wrapped the towel around herself and walked toward the mirror to brush her teeth. That's when everything went wrong. As Lisa moved past the window, the twins got their first clear look at a human being, but they had no idea what they were seeing. On their planet, everyone was born with permanent skin that never changed. They had never seen anyone without clothes before. The twins thought they were witnessing some kind of mysterious transformation. Maybe humans shed their outer covering like snakes? Or perhaps this was some sacred ceremony they had read about in their research? "By the 7 moons of Kepler!" Zix gasped, stumbling backward. "Is she molting?" Vex whispered in wonder. At the same moment, Lisa glanced toward the window and saw 2 large, glowing eyes staring at her through the glass. She let out a scream that probably scared every bird for miles around. The twins were so startled by the loud noise that they jumped backward, crashed into each other, and tumbled right into Lisa's garden. They landed in a tangle of arms and legs among the destroyed tomato plants. Lisa grabbed her bathrobe and wrapped it tightly around herself. Her heart was beating so fast she thought it might explode. She had no idea what those things were at her window, but she was pretty sure they weren't human. She crept to the window and peeked out carefully. In her garden, she could see 2 tall figures trying to untangle themselves from her tomato vines. In the moonlight, their skin seemed to shimmer and change color. "This is not happening," Lisa whispered to herself. "This is absolutely not happening." But deep down, the scientist in her was already getting excited. After years of studying tiny sea creatures, had she just discovered something much bigger? Something that would change everything people knew about life in the universe? The twins finally got to their feet and dusted themselves off. They looked up at the bathroom window, then at each other. "Well," said Zix, "that didn't go as planned." "Do you think she knows we saw her ritual?" Vex asked nervously. "I think the whole planet knows," Zix replied, rubbing his ringing ears. Lisa took a deep breath and made a decision that would change her life forever. Instead of calling the police or hiding under her bed, she decided to investigate. After all, she was a scientist. And scientists were supposed to be curious about new discoveries. She put on her warmest bathrobe and grabbed a flashlight. Her hands were shaking, but her excitement was stronger than her fear. She was about to make first contact with beings from another world, and it all started because she really needed that shower. Lisa stood at her back door for a full minute, trying to convince herself this was all a weird dream. Maybe she had fallen asleep in the shower. Maybe those long hours studying sea samples had finally made her lose her mind. But when she opened the door and felt the cool night air on her face, she knew this was real. The 2 strange beings were still in her garden, whispering to each other in a language that sounded like wind chimes mixed with ocean waves. They kept pointing at her bathroom window and making gestures she didn't understand. Lisa cleared her throat loudly. Both aliens jumped and spun around to face her. Up close, they looked even more amazing and terrifying. Their skin really did shimmer like fish scales, and their large eyes reflected light like a cat's eyes do in the dark. Hello?" Lisa said, feeling incredibly stupid. "What do you say to aliens who just saw you in the shower?" The taller alien stepped forward and started making clicking sounds. Then he touched something on his chest that looked like a small crystal. Suddenly words came out, but they were all mixed up and wrong. "Great honor to witness your sacred skin removal ceremony." "Glorious shedding one," the alien said, bowing deeply. "We bring gifts of appreciation for allowing us to observe your holy molting ritual." Lisa blinked hard. "My what now?" The shorter alien also touched his crystal device and joined in. Yes, most impressive transformation. We have collected ceremonial shed skins for you." He held up a bag filled with what looked like old snake skins and dried leaves. "Oh, no," Lisa said quickly, backing away from the bag. "I think there's been a huge misunderstanding here." But the aliens kept bowing and making these weird chirping sounds that might have been their version of applause. The tall one started speaking again, but his translation device was clearly broken because what came out was, "We are humble space travelers who have crash-landed in your sacred molting grounds. I am Zix of the Crystal Moons, and this is my brother, Vex of the same Crystal Moons. We seek assistance from the Great Shedding One." Lisa rubbed her forehead. This was definitely the weirdest Tuesday night of her entire life. Okay, first things first. I'm not a great shedding one, whatever that means. I'm just Lisa. And what you saw wasn't a ritual, it was just me taking a shower. You know, cleaning myself, with soap and water. The twins looked at each other with confusion. Vex whispered something to Zix in their musical language. Then Zix asked, "You clean yourself with liquid? How do you not dissolve?" "Dissolve?" Lisa laughed despite everything. "No, humans don't dissolve in water. We actually need water to live. Don't you have water on your planet?" "We cleanse ourselves with energy vibrations," Vex explained proudly. "Much more efficient. No dangerous liquids involved." Lisa was starting to understand that these aliens knew almost nothing about human life. Their broken translator wasn't helping either. Every few words came out wrong or in the wrong order. "Where exactly are you from?" she asked. Zix pointed up, at the stars. "Kepler 442b, very far, many light cycles of travel. We are exploration scouts, sent to study different worlds and report back to our Council of Elders." "And you crashed in my garden," Lisa said, looking at the smoking remains of her tomato plants. "Yes, most unfortunate," Vex said sadly. "Our ship experienced technical difficulties. The navigation system failed, and the communication array was damaged in the crash. We cannot contact our home world or repair our vessel without assistance." Despite the crazy situation, Lisa felt a little sorry for them. They seemed genuinely lost and confused. And the scientist in her was absolutely fascinated. These were actual aliens, from another planet. This was the discovery of the century. "What kind of assistance do you need?" she asked carefully. Zix brightened up. "We require rare earth elements to repair our communication device. Specifically, we need minerals that can only be found deep underwater. Our research indicates this planet has vast underwater territories." Lisa's eyes widened. "You need deep-sea minerals. That's actually what I do for work. I study ocean life and collect samples from the deep-sea floor." The twins looked amazed. Vex clasped his hands together excitedly. "The universe provides. The great shedding one is also a deep-water explorer." "Please stop calling me that," Lisa said, though she was starting to find it a little funny. "Just call me Lisa, okay?" "Lisa," Zix tried carefully. "Is this your real name or your ceremonial molting name?" "It's just my regular name," Lisa explained. "The only name I have." This seemed to confuse them even more. On their planet, apparently everyone had at least 6 different names for different occasions. As they talked, Lisa noticed that the aliens kept making small mistakes that would have been funny if they weren't so weird. Vex kept staring at her clothes line, where she had hung some shirts to dry earlier. He seemed fascinated by the idea of fabric coverings. "Are those your backup skins?" he asked, pointing at a blue t-shirt flapping in the breeze. "Those are clothes," Lisa explained. "We wear them to cover our bodies and stay warm." Zix looked shocked. "You mean you are always molting? How do you have time for anything else?" No, Lisa said, trying not to laugh. "We don't molt. We just put clothes on over our regular skin, then take them off to wash them or to shower or sleep." The twins discussed this in their own language for several minutes. Finally, Vex asked, "So the liquid cleansing ritual we witnessed, this happens regularly?" Lisa felt her cheeks getting red. "Yes, most humans shower every day. It's completely normal and private. That's why we do it behind closed doors." "Ah," said Zix, looking embarrassed. "We have violated your privacy customs. This is very shameful behavior where we come from. Please accept our deepest apologies." "It's okay," Lisa said. "You didn't know. But maybe next time, try knocking on the front door instead of looking through windows." "We will remember this important cultural information," Vex said seriously, like he was taking notes for an exam. Lisa looked at their crashed ship, still smoking slightly in her ruined garden. She thought about her research submarine and all. the deep-sea equipment in her garage. She thought about how lonely her life had been lately, with just her work and her cottage by the sea, and she thought about how these two confused, polite aliens might just be the most interesting thing that had ever happened to her. "All right," she said finally. "I'll help you. But we need to set some ground rules about human customs and privacy, and you absolutely cannot tell anyone else about the shower thing." Both aliens nodded eagerly. "We pledge silence about your sacred cleansing rituals," Zix said solemnly. Lisa sighed. This was going to take some work. The next morning, Lisa woke up wondering if the whole thing had been a crazy dream. But when she looked out her window and saw two silver figures sitting politely on her garden chairs, she knew it was all real. The aliens had spent the night outside, apparently not needing sleep the way humans did. Lisa made herself coffee and thought about what she had gotten herself into. She was about to help aliens repair their spaceship using her research equipment. If someone had told her this story a week ago, she would have recommended they see a doctor. She opened her back door and found Zix and Vex examining her clothesline with intense curiosity. Vex was holding one of her sweaters up to the morning light, studying it like it was made of gold. "Good morning," Lisa called out. "Did you sleep okay?" "We do not require rest periods like your species," Zix explained. "However, we spent the night observing your planet's rotation and studying your dwelling's exterior features. Very fascinating construction methods." Vex held up the sweater. "Lisa, we have been analyzing your backup skins. This one appears to be made from the fur of multiple small creatures. Did you hunt them yourself?" Lisa nearly choked on her coffee. "That's wool, Vex. It comes from sheep. We don't hurt them to get it. We just cut their fur when it gets too long, like giving them a haircut." The twins exchanged worried looks. "You regularly harvest fur from other species for your covering rituals?" Zix asked. "It's not a ritual," Lisa said patiently. "It's just clothing, to keep warm." This led to a 10-minute conversation about why humans needed to stay warm, which confused the aliens even more because their planet had a perfectly controlled climate. Lisa was starting to realize that explaining human culture to aliens was going to be harder than she thought. After breakfast, Lisa took them to her garage to show them her research equipment. Her small submarine, the Sea Explorer, was her pride and joy. She had built most of the modifications herself to collect samples from the deepest parts of the ocean. "This is amazing," Zix said, running his hands along the submarine's hull. "Your technology is much more advanced than we expected." "Really?" Lisa felt proud. "I thought you guys would have way better stuff than us." "We have different technology," Vex explained. "We excel at space travel and energy manipulation. But we never developed underwater exploration because our planet has no large bodies of liquid." Lisa spent the morning explaining how the submarine worked. The aliens were fascinated by every detail. They asked hundreds of questions about water pressure, oxygen systems, and navigation. Lisa had never met anyone so interested in her work. "So you traveled to the deepest parts of your ocean alone?" Zix asked with what sounded like admiration. "Usually, yes," Lisa said. "Most people think it's too dangerous or boring." "On our world, such bravery would make you a celebrated explorer," Vex said. "You risk your life to advance scientific knowledge." Lisa felt herself blushing. Nobody had ever called her work brave before. Most people just thought she was the weird lady who studied glowing fish. They spent the afternoon planning their mission. The aliens needed 3 specific minerals that could only be found near underwater volcanic vents. Lisa knew exactly where to find them, but it would require a trip to the deepest part of the nearby ocean trench. "There's just one problem," Lisa said. "My submarine can only fit 2 people. Someone will have to stay behind." The twins looked upset. They had never been separated before, not even for a day. "I will stay," Vex volunteered. "Zix is better with technical repairs." "No, I should stay," Zix argued. You have better geological knowledge. Lisa watched them argue in their musical language for several minutes. Finally, she had an idea. What if we make 2 trips, she suggested. I'll take Zix down first to collect the minerals, then come back for Vex. That way you both get to see our ocean. The twins agreed this was a perfect solution. But as they prepared for the first dive, things started going wrong in amusing ways. First, Vex accidentally turned on Lisa's washing machine while trying to examine it. The sudden noise and splashing water sent him running outside, convinced. The machine was some kind of angry water creature. Lisa found him hiding behind her car, trembling. It's okay, she laughed, turning off the machine. It just cleans clothes automatically. Your technology is terrifying, Vex muttered. Then Zix got fascinated by Lisa's shower after she explained that it was just a cleaning device, not a sacred ritual. He kept turning the water on and off, amazed that humans could control liquid so easily. This is incredible, he called out. The water obeys your commands. It's just plumbing, Lisa called back. We've had it for hundreds of years. But the biggest problem came when Zix tried to test their communication device. He successfully contacted their home planet, but something went wrong with the transmission. Instead of sending a simple status report, he accidentally broadcast Lisa's morning routine to their entire scientific community. Lisa was in the kitchen making sandwiches for their ocean trip when she heard Zix calling her name urgently. Lisa, there has been a terrible mistake. She ran outside to find Zix, staring at his communication device in horror. The screen was showing what looked like a live feed of her kitchen. What's happening? She asked. I was trying to send a report. To our Council of Elders, Zix explained miserably, but the device malfunctioned. Instead of sending data, it transmitted visual recordings of your daily activities to our planetary research network. Lisa felt her stomach drop. What kind of activities? Everything, Zix whispered. Your morning cleansing ritual, your food, preparation ceremonies, your interaction with the fur-harvesting backup skins. Oh no, Lisa said, sitting down heavily on her garden chair. Vex came running over. What's wrong? Zix explained the situation. Vex's skin turned from silver to a deep blue color, which Lisa was learning meant he was embarrassed. So right now, Lisa said slowly, there are aliens on your planet watching videos of me making coffee and getting dressed? Yes, Zix admitted. Our Xenobiological Research Division is very excited. They have never seen detailed recordings of human domestic behavior before. They are calling it the most significant anthropological discovery in our planet's history. Lisa put her head in her hands. I'm famous on an alien planet for making breakfast. Very famous, Vex added helpfully. The viewing numbers are extraordinary. Despite everything, Lisa started laughing. The whole situation was so ridiculous that she couldn't stay upset. Here she was, helping aliens fix their spaceship, and now she was accidentally the star of some cosmic nature documentary. Well, she said finally, I guess if I'm going to be famous across the galaxy, at least it's for something harmless. The twins looked relieved that she wasn't angry. Zix promised to fix the communication device properly after they collected the minerals they needed. But first, Lisa said, standing up and brushing off her hands, we have a submarine mission to complete. And this time, let's try not to accidentally broadcast it to anyone. As they prepared for their underwater adventure, Lisa couldn't help but smile. Her quiet life by the sea had certainly become interesting. The submarine mission went better than Lisa had hoped. Zix turned out to be an excellent diving partner, though he spent the first 20 minutes of their underwater journey pressed against the window, amazed by every fish they saw. Your ocean is alive, he kept saying. There are creatures everywhere. Lisa had forgotten how magical the deep sea could look to someone seeing it for the first time. Through Zix's eyes, even the common jellyfish looked like floating stars. They successfully collected the rare minerals from the volcanic vents. Zix's alien technology made the job much easier than usual. He had a device that could identify exactly which rocks contained the elements they needed. What would have taken Lisa weeks of careful analysis took them just a few hours. On their way back to the surface, something unexpected happened. Zix's communication device started beeping urgently. "What's that sound?" Lisa asked, steering the submarine upward. Zix checked his device and his skin turned pale silver. "We have a problem. My home planet is sending a search team to find us." "Is that bad?" "Very bad," Zix said grimly. "If they find Earth before we can report back safely, they might decide your planet is too dangerous for contact. They could recommend that Earth be placed on the Forbidden Worlds list." Lisa felt her heart sink. "What does that mean?" "It means no alien species would ever be allowed to contact Earth again. Your planet would be isolated from the rest of the galaxy forever." When they returned to the cottage, Lisa quickly explained the situation to Vex. The news made both twins very upset. They had grown to like Earth, and especially Lisa. The thought of their people deciding to avoid Earth forever made them sad. But that wasn't their only problem. While they were underwater, something else had gone wrong. "Lisa," Vex said nervously, "I think we may have been discovered by your government." "What do you mean?" Vex pointed to the road leading to her cottage. Lisa could see black cars parked in the distance, trying to stay hidden behind trees. Men in dark suits were watching her house with binoculars. "Oh no," Lisa whispered. "How did they find out?" "I may have accidentally activated our ship's distress beacon while trying to repair it," Vex admitted. "The signal was probably detected by your planet's monitoring systems." Lisa felt panic rising in her chest. She had always imagined that first. Contact with aliens would be exciting, but this was getting scary very fast. Government agents were watching her house, alien search teams were coming from space, and she was stuck in the middle of it all. "How long do we have?" she asked. Zix checked his communication device. "The search team will arrive in approximately 6 of your hours. The government agents appear to be waiting for reinforcements before approaching." Lisa made a decision that surprised even herself. "Then we need to get you out of here before either group arrives." "But what about the repairs?" Vex asked. "We still need to fix our ship properly." "We'll have to make do with temporary repairs," Lisa said. "Better to leave with a partly broken ship than get captured by government agents or cause an intergalactic incident." The twins looked at each other and nodded. They had grown to trust Lisa's judgment completely. The next few hours were the most intense of Lisa's life. Working together, they managed to install the minerals into the alien's ship. The repairs weren't perfect, but they would be enough to get the twins back to their home planet. Meanwhile, Lisa kept watching the government agents through her binoculars. More cars kept arriving. Whatever they thought was happening at her cottage, they were taking it very seriously. "Lisa," Zix said as they finished the repairs, "there's something we need to tell you." "What now?" Lisa asked, exhausted from the stress. "When I accidentally broadcast your daily activities to our planet," Zix began, "something unexpected happened. Our people were fascinated by your kindness and intelligence. They had never seen a being from another world show such patience with confused visitors." Vex nodded enthusiastically. "The Research Council has voted to recommend Earth for careful, gradual contact instead of avoidance, but only because of you." Lisa felt tears forming in her eyes. "Really?" "You changed their minds about your entire species," Zix said. "They want to learn more about humans like you." But then Vex's expression became worried. "However, if we're captured by your government, or if our search team arrives and finds conflict, that recommendation could change. Our people might decide Earth is too unstable for contact after all." Lisa understood. Everything depended on getting the twins safely off Earth without any dramatic confrontations. As evening approached, the government agents started moving closer to the cottage. Lisa could see them setting up equipment and preparing for some kind of operation. "It's time," Zix said, starting up their ship's engines. The spacecraft hummed to life, but much quieter than Lisa had expected. Alien technology was definitely more advanced than human engines. "Wait," Lisa said suddenly. "If you leave now, how will I ever see you again? How will I know if the gradual contact plan works?" The twins smiled, which looked strange on their alien features, but was definitely warm and friendly. "We've prepared something for you," Vex said, handing Lisa a small crystal device. "This is a long-range communicator, modified to work with Earth's technology. We can stay in touch across the galaxy. And," Zix added, "we've hidden something in your submarine that will help with your research. Consider it a thank you gift." Lisa felt both happy and sad. She had known these aliens for only a few days, but they had become real friends. The thought of them leaving felt like losing family members. "Promise me you'll be careful out there," she said. "Promise us you'll keep studying the ocean," Vex replied. "Your work is important, even if other humans don't always see it." Through her window, Lisa could see the government agents were almost at her front door. It was now or never. The twins climbed into their ship and sealed the door. Lisa stood back as the craft rose silently into the night sky. Within seconds, it was just another star in the darkness. Just as the ship disappeared, Lisa heard loud knocking at her front door. Lisa took a deep breath and walked to her front door. Through the peephole, she could see a woman in a dark suit holding up an official-looking badge. "Dr. Lisa Chen?" the woman called out. "I'm Agent Rodriguez with the Department of Unusual Phenomena. We'd like to ask you a few questions about some strange energy readings in this area." Lisa opened the door, trying to look confused and innocent. "Energy readings? I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that. I'm just a marine biologist." Agent Rodriguez looked past Lisa into the cottage. "We've detected some unusual electromagnetic signatures coming from your property over the past few days. Have you noticed anything strange? Unusual lights in the sky? Unexplained sounds?" "No, nothing like that," Lisa said, which was technically true. The aliens had been surprisingly quiet. The agent walked around Lisa's property for 20 minutes, scanning everything with strange devices. Lisa's heart pounded every time Rodriguez got close to the garden where the alien ship had crashed. But the twins had done a good job cleaning up. There was no trace they had ever been there except for Lisa's ruined tomato plants. "Looks like you had some trouble with your garden," Rodriguez noted. "Yes, a really bad storm last week," Lisa lied smoothly. "Knocked over all my tomato stakes." Finally, the agents left, warning Lisa to call them if she noticed anything unusual. Lisa watched their cars disappear down the road, then collapsed on her couch with relief. For the next few weeks, life went back to normal. Lisa returned to her regular research routine, collecting samples and studying ocean life. But everything felt different now. The cottage seemed too quiet, and she kept looking up at the stars, wondering how her alien friends were doing. Then, exactly 1 month after the twins had left, the crystal communicator they had given her started glowing. Lisa grabbed it eagerly. "Hello? Zix? Vex?" "Greetings, famous Earth explorer Lisa," came Zix's familiar voice, sounding much clearer than his old translation device. "We made it home safely," Vex added. "And we have wonderful news." Lisa curled up in her favorite chair, thrilled to hear their voices again. "Tell me everything." "Our report about Earth has been accepted by the High Council," Zix explained. "Because of your kindness and the peaceful nature of our encounter, they have approved Earth for the gradual contact protocol." "What does that mean exactly?" Lisa asked. "It means that over the next several years we will slowly introduce our civilizations to each other," Vex said excitedly. "No sudden invasions or dramatic announcements, just careful, friendly contact between scientists and explorers." Lisa felt tears of joy. "And I'll get to be part of it?" "You'll be our official Earth contact representative," Zix said. "If you want the job, that is." Lisa laughed through her tears. "Are you kidding? Of course I want it." The twins went on to explain that they had already started sharing Earth's scientific knowledge with their people. Lisa's ocean research was particularly interesting to alien scientists who had never seen liquid water ecosystems before. "Oh, and Lisa," Vex added with amusement in his voice, "you're still very famous here. The videos of your daily routines have been viewed by millions of beings across our planet. You've become a symbol of human hospitality and patience." Lisa groaned. "I'm never going to live down that shower incident, am I?" "Probably not," Zix said cheerfully, "but it's made you the most beloved alien in our solar system." "I'm not an alien," Lisa protested, then paused. "Wait, I guess from your perspective, I am the alien." This made all three of them laugh. Over the following months, Lisa's life changed in amazing ways. The twins had been true to their word about leaving her a gift. Hidden in her submarine, she had found an incredible piece of alien technology that could purify ocean water and remove pollution. Using it carefully, she was able to make breakthrough discoveries that earned her international recognition as a marine scientist. She published papers about new methods of ocean cleanup. Though she had to be creative about explaining where her ideas came from, she couldn't exactly write alien technology in her research citations. The crystal communicator allowed her to stay in regular contact with Zix and Vex. They told her about their world, with its floating crystal cities and energy-based technology. In return, Lisa shared stories about Earth culture, human emotions, and the beauty of ocean life. Sometimes the twins would call just to hear her sing in the shower, which had apparently become a beloved tradition on their planet. Lisa had gotten used to having the most famous shower routine in the galaxy. One evening, almost a year after their first meeting, Lisa was sitting on her porch watching the sunset when the communicator glowed again. "Lisa," came Zix's voice, "look up at the eastern horizon." Lisa looked up and saw a familiar silver gleam in the evening sky. A small ship was approaching, much more carefully than the first time. "You came back!" Lisa shouted, running into her. "Garden." The ship landed gently in the same spot where it had crashed before, but this time it didn't destroy any plants. The twins stepped out, looking exactly the same but somehow more confident. "We brought friends," Vex announced. Two more aliens emerged from the ship, these ones with golden skin and curious expressions. The High Council wanted to meet the famous Lisa of Earth, Zix explained. "These are Kira and Mello, our planet's top xenobiologists." Lisa spent the next week hosting 4 aliens in her cottage, teaching them about human culture and showing them around Earth. They were amazed by everything, from her refrigerator to the local seagulls. The visit went so well that it became the first of many. Over the next few years, Lisa's cottage became an unofficial embassy between Earth and the alien civilization. Scientists from both worlds met there to share knowledge and build friendship. Lisa never did tell anyone about that embarrassing first encounter in the shower. But sometimes, when she was alone in her bathroom, she would smile and wave at the window, just in case any alien scientists were watching. After all, she was still the most famous shower taker in the galaxy. And honestly, she had started to find that pretty amusing. The cottage by the sea had become the center of the most important friendship in the universe. And it all started because Lisa really, really needed that shower on a Tuesday night. Some of the best adventures she had learned begin with the most embarrassing moments.